What's good, ladies and gentlemen? How are y'all doing today? Welcome to another edition of In the Blender with your host, Shake Money. And before we get things started, man, I just want to right now, I'm not the religious type, but if you can, man, I would like to offer my prayers with Paris Love. He's not doing so well. Reach out to him, man. I think he's a good member of the community. I hope one day he becomes fan of the year. Um, but yeah, man, my thoughts are with. I hope he always pulls through. I hope he pulls through again, man. Paris Love, keep him in your thoughts, and hopefully he's doing much better. You know what I mean? So, um, with that being said, man, I got a Hall of Famer from Alabama State in the back room, man. So don't go around. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Shake, 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 yeah, shake, 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 shake. Shake money in the place. Miami plays, Miami days in the blender with Shake and his friends. We're gonna talk about the Fins again. Miami plays, Miami days in the blender with Shake and his friends. We're gonna talk about the Fins again. Is you a fan or a troll? Are you trying to wish us good? Trying to take control, bringing problems to the hood. What takes your soul? Miami Dolphins bring the wood. Bowlers the gold. Tyreek Hill. I'm trying to kick it with Shake. You gotta be a real fan. No pretenders and fakes. We're gonna open up the line. Come correct with your taste. If you step into us blind, we're gonna show you the way. Miami plays, Miami days in the blender with Shake and his friends. We're gonna talk about the Fins again. Miami plays, Miami days in the blender with Shake and his friends. We're gonna talk about the Fins again. Never want the season to end. Let's mix it up a little with gin. And I remember when I knew that the Dolphins would win. Yeah, rockin' with Shake, rockin' with Shake. Let's go. I never want the season to end. Never mix it up a little with gin. That's right. Pass it off to one of my friends. Yeah, rockin' with Shake, rockin' with Shake. Larry K, what up? Phin-Addicts. TFTG, the tailgate. Miami Dolphins, baby. What up, Lou? Shake money. Crypto. Check it. Me? God bless y'all. Miami Dolphins #1. And we out. Miami Dolphins football, the greatest football team. We push the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. Respect us.
What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Now, my next guest played for the Houston Oilers, and his career was cut a little short, but he got his doctorate and now is a successful principal in the city of Houston. I like to introduce this next guest, and a person I am proud to call a friend, my main man, Dr. Reginald Brown. What's going on, Dr. Reginald Brown? Welcome to the program.
I'm good, man. That intro is dope, my guy.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm over here turning up, man. I had to get my mind right for this interview because you had me turning up, man.
That's what's up, man. And speaking of which, back in your college days, when you were in college, what was the music that you had you listened to get turned up?
For the game, man, I think I was a little bit different. Like, I didn't like all the rah-rah stuff. I was very self-conscious and, I wanted to play well. And I kind of felt like if I got all excited, I would, not make a play or something. So I listened to on game day a little bit more. Like I was listening to Anita Baker and stuff like that prior to the game. to get myself relaxed and ready to go. Obviously, back in them days, I was on Tupac, etc. But game before the game, I was settled. I played at Alabama State, as you said, and you would be down there, and them country boys, from Alabama with them heavy dang on hands, they would be slapping you upside the head and I was like, man, you're gonna knock me out before the damn game. So I was really relaxed. I stayed away from all of the hoopla and really just tried to get myself under control and ready to go.
But real quick, let's give shout out to my man Rafael Courtwright. Rafael Courtwright will be in the blender next Thursday after Marissa Marino is going to be in the blender. This Thursday coming up, I got Marissa Marino and Rafael Courtwright. I got Miss Fins the week after that.
That's what's up.
Dolphinier in the building. My man Michael K. Dolphinier. I said him. Hey, fellow HBCU Howard graduate, my man CBA 3 in the building, Ryan AP. Yeah, and hit the damn like button.
For sure.
So one of the things I'll talk to you previously. I want to talk to you about the HBCU experience. You got your first, you got a national championship in the HBCU. How did that work go about? How do they pick about playing for the championship?
Well, obviously for me, I grew up in Miami, right? And so growing up in Miami in the late 80s, everybody wanted to go to the University of Miami. I mean, and while I thought I could play on that level, I was totally devastated, when I wasn't recruited by them. I took a visit on them, but, after looking back at it, it was really, he the homie from Miami, we're going to bring him on the campus, but it really wasn't recruiting. But I was being recruited by Tulane. I was being recruited by a few mid-majors. And my dad, I remember coming home from school, and a coach was just pulling off from our school, and I walked in the house, and my dad said, "You're going to Alabama State." And I was like, what you talking about? He was like, "You going to Alabama State?" And I was like, "Alabama State? I had never heard of it." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Look, he stayed right down the street. His daddy is Pop McKenzie, and he told me you go get your education, and he gonna make sure you go to church. That's the school you're going to." And
that's what's up.
And I had the type of dad that once he said something like that, that was law. And I called my older brother and said, "Hey man, daddy tripping. You got to get over here." And my brother came and he walked in, and my dad was like, "Hey, don't even. This over with. That's we either going to Alabama State or he going to the military. Y'all choose which one y'all want to happen." And so we chose Alabama State, and it was really, in hindsight, looking back, the best decision I could have made. I went in as a freshman and started as a freshman. Played every game. Started every game that I was there for 4 years, and because we had a new coach who had just came in, the players, the seniors and juniors weren't his guys. And so a lot of us played as freshmen. And so by the time we got to as seniors, we were battle tested. We knew the offense and defensive schemes inside and out. And my senior year, we went 11-0-1. We beat Grambling 69-6. We beat Prairie View 92-0. We beat Mississippi Valley 72-6. I mean, I didn't play any fourth quarters in my senior year and barely played in the third quarter because we were really a fine oil machine. We had 5 guys on my team that got NFL shots, and we had 3 guys who actually made it in the NFL and stuck for some period of time.
Was that something like, so your team was kind of like that Deion Sanders team in Jackson State?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit different because obviously the NIL deals helped Jackson State, and they were able to go and get players. We were all homegrown, all kids that were really just looking for an opportunity to play some football and, get an education. And we
Yeah, you didn't
really,
have a legendary coach either.
right. We had a fool. We had a fool who was, again, he coached us hard. I remember our freshman year, all of us hated him, but by the time our senior year came around, we all would have ran through a brick wall for him. I was fortunate enough to eulogize him when he passed away and be a part of that whole experience, because he made us into men. And we came there as, he used to tell me, you nobody in Miami wants you. You done skipped over all them schools in Florida, all them schools in Georgia. You too undisciplined for the military. I'm the only person who wants you, son. So you better get yourself together. And he challenged me to be better than I ever thought I could be. And again, I'm grateful to have been in his presence and been coached like that.
What's the one thing that you say you could take from that you took from him that you use to this day?
Nothing beats hard work, man. And it's really just mind over matter. Your body can endure anything. I mean, we back in those days, and I mean, this is black college football. So there was no three, I think it's now whatever it is, 40-hour work week. We practiced 3 a days, and we practiced on Saturday nights, and we got up at 6 o'clock, and all of those things and things that you think that your body can't go through. And we went through it. And it's really about your mental capacity to be able to achieve the goals that you've set in front of yourself. And so that whole experience, the whole black college experience, the whole pledging experience for my fraternity really taught me that I can go through anything as long as I stay prayed up and my mind is right.
That's what's up. And speaking of this Central Rocket graduated and she went into the military. Shout out to Nene's in the building.
Hey, that's what we do, baby. That's what we do. We graduate and we life changers.
Hell yeah, that's what's up, man. So, did you ever get to play Howard University when you were at college?
No, they weren't good enough to play with us back then. But I did coach against. So I coached at Delaware State, and I mean, Howard is the mecca. I mean, there's no denying that Howard is the mecca of one of the meccas of black college, and everything that they do there, aside from football, is about excellence. Their football team suck, but other than that, they all right.
Yeah. True that. So now you told me we had a conversation earlier this week, and you were saying that you are the president for the NIE deals.
Yes.
How does that come about?
So obviously, black colleges, our athletes don't get the kind of exposure and are not getting the kind of deals that obviously bigger schools are getting, right? And so we really have to go out and solicit businesses and donors to be able to support our student athletes. And for me, it was really important because I was from Miami. And so Miami is about 10 hours away from Montgomery, Alabama. And while I had a mom and dad, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. And so any money that I could get, to help support me in Alabama was necessary. I mean, people don't realize what athletes go through, what you need your body to get re-energized and get the supplements and all of those things. And to be able to now support young men and women at Alabama State University to ensure that they have everything that they need so that they can put football and their academics at the forefront rather than worrying about where their next meal is coming from really, really means a lot to me. And so over the last 3 years, I've been the head of the Hornet Alliance, which is our collective, and really working hard to go out and get those funds for our student athletes.
And that's what's up, man. That's I think that's a it's a commendable job what you're doing, and I'm sure that you're gonna see the fruits of your labors. Because hey, listen, from what I see, you don't have to tell me what I see. You everything you do, man, turns to gold. So I really wish. Is there any way you could donate or help out the cause?
Oh man, that's huge. I'll send you a link. I'll send you one of our links you can give through Zelle, all of the apparatus. So I'll send that to you and you can post it. Sure.
Okay, that's what's up, man. And all right, you are and you were like one of the first inductees of the Hall of Fame. Who was the person who inducted you to the Hall of Fame?
Well, so my first roommate when I went to Alabama State was my room teammate in college and the NFL. Most people think that he's Eddie Robinson's the coach's son, but he's not. But we went to Alabama State together. He was my first roommate, and as fate would have it, we both played with the Oilers. His career, he was the second round draft pick when we came out of college in 1992. He was their first pick because they didn't have a first round. And then I signed as an undrafted free agent, and he inducted me and I inducted him because we both remember maybe the second or third day when we were at Alabama State in our rooms and thinking about the future. And I remember we had this conversation. What if we made it to the NFL? And what if we played for the same NFL team? And we both worked hard. We always pushed and challenged each other, and we both ended up playing in the NFL, and we both ended up going into Alabama State's Hall of Fame at the same time in the first class. And so he's a class act, a great guy, and he's actually the head coach right now. He's the guy who told Deion Sanders, "I'm swag, you ain't swag." And so, he's my brother and my teammate, and I was fortunate to play with him, and very fortunate to be a part of his journey. He was a part of my journey.
That's what's up, man. And you know what? That's a blessing to say that. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure you guys reflect when you guys first were rookies, whatever, on all those all those times you had as freshmen and growing up in the school. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when we got to the league, like he was like I said, he was a second round draft pick, so his spot was secure. And I had to, being an undrafted guy, I had to work really, really hard. But I'm HBCU and I'm from Miami. So from day one, I was talking trash while I was there. And he was like, "Man, you better calm down. I was like, "Hey, bro, if I'm going out, then I'm going out the only way I know how." But he's always been a calming force for me. He's always challenged me to be the very best that I could be. And he's always been a great teammate. And again, just a heck of a guy.
You have any? You have at least one cool story to share? With you, like one of your most memorable stories, that you have with him.
With Eddie,
yeah.
Again, I think it was the rookie. I guess I don't know what they call it now, the rookie hazing show or the rookie talent show that you have when you're in the NFL, and all the rookies gotta do a talent. And he got up there and did something, and there was a receiver from Cincinnati who I got pretty cool with when I got there. His name was Dion. And we had been practicing and working hard, and then we had the night off. And so prior to the rookie talent show, we went to the corner and got a bottle of that 8-Ball. And
oh, yeah.
So, by the time the rookie talent show come, I just got up there and started telling some jokes. And Warren Moon was in the middle of a contract dispute, and I made a joke about the contract dispute that all the players thought were funny, but obviously the head coach was in there and everybody was in there. And I made another joke about the owner And my boy Eddie came to the stage and was like, come on, bro. Come on, get off the stage right now.
Damn, you almost wasn't signed then, huh?
Right. So yeah, but again, he's always taking care of me, man. He's always.
By the way, for those who don't know what 8-ball is, that's Old English.
Yeah.
Man, that was. Hey, trust me, that was my first 40 when I was growing up. That was
Right.
before 40 ounces were outlawed.
Right.
But then you know, obviously your career fell short due to an injury.
Right.
And then you went into coaching. And these are some of the things. Listen, for those that you don't know, this is Doc Brown's second time in the blender. And one of the reasons I had him back on here, because shout out to Tony. I called him. Tony directed me how to get there, and we were able to take. Nope, wrong picture. Hopefully I still have it here. Here we go. Yeah,
that's what's up.
Remember that picture, man? This was the North Carolina game.
Yes, sir.
So you went into there was a program that you were able to internship in a couple of programs, and one you mentioned was the Buffalo Bills, and the other one was the Greatest Show on Turf. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How would you compare, being that you were up and close with the Greatest Show on Turf? Could you draw any parallels between the Greatest Show on Turf and the team we had last year?
Man, that's a great one, man. Because the Greatest Show on Turf. So just as a background, the NFL has the minority coaching internship. So the Bills hired Greg Williams, who was the special teams coach when I was at the Oilers, and he worked his way up. He's a great guy. And so when he became the head coach at the Bills, you put in an application, many guys from the HBCUs who coach in HBCUs, or you could be at a Power 5 and be in a minority, and you come up and you get to coach on the NFL level for 2 months doing training camp and a couple of games. And I got to work with Greg. And then from working with Greg, one of his running back coaches, I built a pretty good relationship when I was at Buffalo. He went to the Rams as their offensive coordinator. So when he got there, I developed a relationship with him, and I called him and he brought me to the Rams. And, when you talk about Marshall Faulk and Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce and Isaac Keene and Kurt Warner, man, that's a hell of a team. I think there are some subtle differences. I mean, obviously the height, Torrey Holt was about 6'2" or so. Both teams had amazing speed. I think the difference is that Mike Martz was more comfortable running Marshall Faulk in any situation than Mike McDaniels is running our running backs in given situations. And my hope for our team is that Mike McDaniels developed that. When you got a back like Marshall Faulk, you're going to run Marshall and you're going to run Marshall. And then I think Marshall was probably the biggest difference between these two offenses, because you didn't have to take him out the game. He could pass rush, pass block. He could run routes. And obviously he could tote the rock. So he was a total 3-down back, and teams couldn't, plan for your offense based on who is in the backfield. And I think that's the biggest difference, along with, while they were the Greatest Show on Turf, running the ball consistently inside and outside was a big part of that Greatest Show.
That's what's up, man. So let me ask you a question. Being that you're a Dolphin fan, diehard Dolphin fan, just like me, did you feel like a traitor working with the Buffalo Bills?
Not at all. I mean, I got to, obviously when Miami played them, I wanted Miami to whoop them, since, I wouldn't make it. I mean, you get paid to do the internship. But by the time they played the Dolphins, I was back in Delaware and, coaching. And so, my connection was with them was everybody except the Dolphins and don't win a division. But again, they were, that was when Jim Kelly had left, and that whole thing had left. And there was Eric Mose and Peerless Price, that team that I was there. Again, a great receiving core in its own right with those two. And then they had Travis Henry, the running back, was there. So again, just another opportunity to learn about football and from a different side of it. And it made me a better coach when I was coaching college football. But I think the bigger thing is I really learned from Mike Martz and Greg Williams how to be a leader of men. And it has served me well now that I'm the principal of a school.
So one last thing, because I wanted to do a little off topic with you, because there's some questions that were unanswered last time we did the interview, and I appreciate again you diving into to the questions. You know what I'm saying? Going into a little deeper dive. So what about your old alma mater, Central? Nene, she is definitely involved. She is definitely trying to help out these of course, I don't know if you heard about they're trying to cock block families from taping their own channel,
yes,
filming filming their own families in
yes.
games. You know what I'm saying? And she was trying to prevent that. You know what I'm saying? So how involved are you still? Are you also involved with Central as well?
Yes, but not as much as I should be. I have to be honest. I'm getting pulled in a lot of directions. But one thing about Rocket Nation is you have people like Nene who are really, really invested in our school. It has a solid tradition, and people are really invested in it. And when you're having the kind of success that they're having, obviously that's when it turns monetary things become important. And the fact that Nene and the rest of our alumni stood up against that movement was really, really good to see. In fact, I just saw Nene was just not only did she support the football team, but recently she just supported the band. I know she gave them I want to say, I don't want to get this wrong, because I know if I get it wrong, she going to be on my neck. But she gave the band a trombone, and she's done so many things for our alma mater. But really, that's what it's about, right? It's about, being able to be a part of something bigger than yourself, and then being able to reach back and give back to it. And so Miami Central is a huge part of it. So I'm a part of the Alumni Association. I pay my dues and all of that kind of stuff. And at some point, I'll be more active in the movement there. But shout out to Nene for holding it up for me.
And what's funny is not too many. I don't know. I can't speak for any Broward or any other county, because I grew up in Dade County. I went to Carroll City High School, and one of the, I would say, is football, and one of the other things that people loved was the Battle of the Bands. That was a big, huge event. As a matter of fact, when Northwestern and Carroll City play, or Carroll City and Central play, one of the things that people look forward to was the bands going at each other. One had, I think, 7 minutes or something like that, and then the other had 15 minutes, and then they will go at it. The Battle of the Bands.
When the Rockets showed up, it really wasn't no battle. They was out, the other team just came out there and did their little thing, but everybody really came to see the Rockets, dog. I mean, that's just what it is.
Here comes another Texas legend in the building.
Hey, who is that? I think he's from Texarkana or something. I don't know. I heard he been kicked off several panels because of his horrible takes. But I'm telling y'all, give my man a chance. Just because he wear a helmet and ride the little bus, don't discriminate. All right? Don't do him like that. Keep letting him come. He gonna be all right.
All right. Hey, one last thing before we get into Dolphins talk. I asked Estefan. He's a native from Texas. He said he was talking about how football is like a religion. So was here, right? How would you grew up in South Florida football? I mean, the Pee Wee, you look Bunch Park. You talk about Scott Lake. You talk about some of those parks. It was like watching a professional game, even though it's Pee Wee. You know what I'm saying? They football here is like a religion. How would you compare the love of football in Florida versus the love of football in Texas?
Well, first of all,
Football.
I'm from North Side, looking good. We ought to be in Hollywood, all right. So let's get that right where I played at. But secondly, I think that the passion for both states is equal. I mean, you cannot deny that Texas loves their football the same way that Florida loves it. The difference is there are two differences when it comes to high school football and little league football. One is that in Miami, it's all about speed, right? And it's
Yeah.
speed, speed, speed. In Texas, it's all about strength and weight room and lifting weights. And those are the two things. And whenever a Florida school plays a Texas school, it's going to come down to which one of those two things take over. Obviously, Central, we play here in Texas the last probably 3 out of the last 5 years, and we've won 2 of those games and lost 1. So speed is certainly taken over it. But and then the other difference is that's really interesting is in Miami or in Florida, it's the inner city schools that go to the state, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you get Central or Northwestern or Carol City or wherever, and those are all inner city schools from the big cities that go to the state. In Texas, it's quite different. In Texas, it's the suburb schools that usually go to the state and win the state. So you talk about Katy, Texas, you talk about Duncanville outside of Dallas, and all of those different places that really suburban schools, South Lake Carroll here in Texas, they all go to the state, where in Miami it's going to be the inner city. And I really don't understand why there is a difference.
Yeah. So, Doc, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just saying I don't know why there's a difference. I just know that there is a difference. And I
Yeah.
was a head coach of a inner city school here at Worthing High School here in Texas, and we just didn't get the same type of talent that I saw in Miami. If you're at an inner city school, you're gonna get talent, and it grow on trees down there. You look at what the Rockets do and the West do, and they come in droves. And
Yeah, no
here
doubt.
it's totally different.
So, all right, let's get to a little bit of Miami Dolphins talk, man. How would you grade? How would you grade last year's team?
I think that I would probably say a B minus, because ultimately you got that team is what built to win in the playoffs. And when you don't do that, it's tough. And, we have, you can have the built-in reasons of, people were hurt and all of those things. And certainly Tyreek wasn't totally healthy going into it, and Waddle wasn't totally healthy, and Armstead and all of those things. But ultimately, with what we're doing and where we're at in this rebuild, it's winning the playoffs or bust. And when you don't do that, you have to grade it as such.
And how do you feel about this team? Like, what do you think about the Washington brothers?
Well, I think that they're really good guys. In my mind, I tend to think that they're grooming them to be Tyreek's replacement. It'll be interesting to see how the Dolphins really feel about that, given that Tyreek is asking for some adjustments to his contract, whether that's adding to it or tearing it up and creating another one. It'll be interesting what happens. We'll get a good indication of what the Dolphins really think about the receivers, up and coming guys, and whether they're really willing to risk letting Tyreek walk after this year. So we'll find out.
Real quick, before we continue, we got someone in the back who just wants to say hi real quick.
Man, I need me a doctor. I'm gonna have to call 911 because I am physically ill right now. Listening to this garbage. I need a real doctor. Is there a real doctor in the house? God damn it!
Hey, well, I certainly ain't the kind of doctor that can take care of what ails you. That's for damn sure.
Dog, what's good, bro? What's happening, man?
It's all good, baby. What's up with you?
Hey, man, same old. Real quick, I don't know what you're talking about. The inner city, like, kind of circle back to what you were saying about, the type of teams that actually go to the states and all state championships and whatnot. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. It's a lot of schools that are not from the quote unquote suburbs that are successful. You talking about you go to DeSoto, Duncanville, you can go
those are suburban schools, though.
No.
DeSoto ain't inner city Dallas.
What you do? It ain't. No, it's not.
No,
well,
absolutely
hang on. It's not the hood.
That.
It's not the hood, but it ain't no upscale area either. It's kind of
saying. In Miami, it is the hood running from the police.
Oh, okay. Well, you got me there. You got me there. Okay. Well, my bad. I'm tripping. You got me there. But no, man. Hey, I just wanted to come up here, man, and see what's up, man. I know we talked. What was that a couple nights ago or whatnot, but we ain't really had a chance to really talk like we normally do. So, yeah, man, I just want to come up here and salute you, bro, and always respect to you, man. And hey, man, you need to step your game up with them takes, though, because I'm falling asleep over here, dog. Hey,
you ain't taking medicine yet. That's why you're falling asleep, bro. Don't blame it on me, bro.
Hey, we'll tap in, man. I'm gonna let you get back to your show, man. But yeah, we'll tap in soon, bro.
Hey, listen, I still got that bottle of Hennessy waiting for you, baby.
I'm coming, Shake. I told you.
I know you are. I'm just letting you know I got that Hennessy waiting for you, baby.
Make sure he don't drink and take his pills at the same time, bro.
Yeah. That's real cute, Doc. That's real cute. All right, man. All
right, brother. So, what'd you think of this draft, by the way? I just want to ask you, what'd you think of the draft?
I thought that you evaluated a couple of ways. You see that some of it is based on replacing guys. I think that's the Chop Robertson getting ready to, see what happens with Chubb and all of those things. And, with Paul, getting ready for Armstead. And then I think there were the value picks that we got. Taking the running back, and obviously you just talked about those receivers was really, value over anticipated draft position, right? And we just really tilted in that area. And I think that it is really set up. The one thing that you really want for your rookies is to be able to come in and compete, and in a lot of ways push other guys. And particularly with those two receivers, I think that, Berrios is going to get pushed. Ezekama is going to get pushed. Craycraft is going to get pushed. And then, you look at the running back. Is he, Chris Brooks, Jeff Wilson, those guys maybe, trying to figure out, do they need to buy a house or not? Because this guy is going to push them. So I really think overall it was a really, really good draft. Obviously, it really comes down to will their skill sets and abilities translate to the NFL? And that's always the case when you're talking about draft. You know, you can get a guy, you know, Chop Robertson coming off the ball and all of those things, but how will he deal with, you know, top tier tackles who are just as good as him? And how will those smaller receivers, how will they deal with DBs who are physical and getting their hands on them? So, you know, it's hard to project these draft picks without, you know, seeing them in real action. You know, I was able to make the NFL as an undrafted free agent, where that year the Oilers drafted 3 guys who had played at Washington and Illinois and Vanderbilt. And, you know, the Mario Bailey was a runner-up to Desmond Howard in the Heisman Trophy ballot the year that Desmond Howard won. Mario Bailey was second, but he didn't make the team, and he was projected, you know, to be a surefire guy, which is why the Oilers drafted him. So these things are always about being able to translate to the next level, and the speed of the game really is the difference. Like, because now everybody's fast. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Everybody's good. And there are no plays off. There are no days off. And we'll find out quickly how does their college skill sets, which projected them to the NFL, actually translate in the NFL.
So, who was your MVP, offensive MVP, and who's your defensive MVP last year?
Man, I mean, you got a couple of really, really good candidates. You know, obviously Tyreek and Tua. I thought Mostert was really, really huge. I'm going to go outside the box though, because I know those are the easy ones, and I'll just go ahead and say Austin Jackson. I think that him and Connor Williams prior to the injuries really brought some stability to the offensive line. Obviously Robert Hunt, but I'll say Austin Jackson just being able to you know, be steadfast and solidify that right tackle position when it was an area of concern, and for many, many years has been an area of concern. And so I'll say that he was a guy that I thought was really, really valuable last year. And then the defensive side of the ball, you know, Jalen Ramsey just jumped out. I mean, it's hard to deny what he brought to the table when he came out there. And I thought that as much as Vic Fangio, I think there's revisionist history at times with him. Obviously, he's an old school coach who does what he does and does not change for any one player. But I thought that as much as I value old school coaching, I thought that what he did or didn't do with Jalen Ramsey was a detriment to the team. And I really wish, and I really believe that our D coordinator now will take advantage of his skill set, because he can really help us in a lot of different ways.
What's up, Color? That's my
What
brother
up,
right
Color?
there from the Fence Tailgate.
Yes. Hey, shout out to Color. Let me say this to you, Color. I'll tell you a quick story of kind of why I've slowed down on Twitter a little bit. Is because of Color. And so my kids at the school somehow found out that I am on, you know, the tailgate and on Twitter. And so they started coming in, you know, some of the spaces and some of the, you know, and looking at the tailgate. And one of the kids came up to me in school and said, "Dr. Brown, that Color is crazy as hell." I said, "Who you talking about?" He said Color on Twitter. I was like, "Oh crap." So now the kids coming in, so I got to be careful what I say and what I do. So shout out to Color, because you making an impression on the kids.
That's what's up, man. So all right, I'm gonna put you on the spot now. Time to put you on the spot. Got to put you on the spot. if the Miami Dolphins was to go to Austin, Texas, become the Austin Dolphins, right? Would you still be a Dolphin fan? I mean, and it's not the another team. It's staying the Dolphins. The everything's going just like how the Rams went to L.A. and how Oakland went to Las Vegas.
Hell no, no sir. I would
No?
be devastated, and I wouldn't F with them ever if they left Miami. So no, I just that'd be too much. As much money as I done spent, I was trying to find a hat to put on for this. I got about 25 Dolphins hats in my closet. You know, as much
That's
money
what's up.
I fly to games during the off, during the season. You know, all of that. As much money and time as I've invested in this team since 1976 to 77, and to leave Miami would just be totally devastating for me. Nah, that'd be over with.
All right, now here's another. All right, now let's say, for instance, back then we had Twitter Spaces, right? When you were undrafted, and then all of a
Back
sudden you hear
then,
like,
huh?
"Oh man, we got, yeah back then," and everybody's like, "Oh, we signed Doc Brown. Oh, he's just a camp body," and they were just downplaying you because of the school you came from. Would it motivate you, or would it get on your nerves if like you were to go into a space and hear of course a lot of people aren't gonna really play up the UDFA like some people do. I think the only one we did where we are is Storm Duck.
Right.
But as far as
well, I think for me, you take those things to some degree for motivation, but from where I come from and how I'm built, there's nobody that can motivate me more than I motivate myself. I really buy into and preach to my kids, my own daughters, and the kids at my school that, there are three conflicts that we go through, right? There's man versus the element, and the elements are controlled by God. You can't do anything about that. And man versus man, you can't control what another man says or does. The only thing that you really control is man versus himself. And so I've always tried to challenge myself and push myself to the fullest extent that I could. And once I've got to that point, I'm very comfortable with the outcome, knowing that win, lose, or draw, I gave it my all. And that's really the thing that matters the most to me. But I will tell you that had it been to go to Miami, I'd have made that team too, just like I made the team in Houston.
hell yeah,
So
that's what's up, man. All right, let me ask you game day foods, like when you on game day, whatever, you getting ready to, is there any certain game day foods that you enjoy?
like I said, man, I was, I was very, those types of things for me, like I said before, like I didn't listen to rap music before the game. I listened to more, like
I'm
I
talking about
said,
as a fan, the game day foods, like for instance, you about to go watch a Dolphin game.
we turned up over here on game day foods. I mean, we might do, I think the playoff game, we did a seafood boil, with lobster and crab and shrimp and all of that. I mean, it's an event for me every Sunday that the Dolphins play. So I'm turning up, and I'm gonna turn up if I have to turn up by my damn self. You know what I mean?
So if, like, say let's say the Dolphins will go to the Super Bowl, right? And you about to have what would be your spread of choice?
If the Dolphins going to the Super Bowl, I'm gonna have that tomahawk with about a $70 lobster.
Damn.
I'm going big. The Dolphins go to the Super Bowl, my guy, for real.
Damn, hey man, listen, I gotta eat with you then. Shit, tomahawk.
Hey, I'm going big, bro, with a bottle that's 1738. What? Hey, I might go to that Louis 13. I might go to that bottle with the Super Bowl.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Louis 13, that's like $5,000.
most definitely. But we getting that the Dolphins go to the Super Bowl. We just won't pay the rent for a month. Something. Ribs at the rib shack at the Rolex. You already know. You already know. Or I might pull up at Trick Daddy's spot.
Yeah, man. And my spot back in the day used to be the Mint Lounge.
Already. So do you know the church, the yellow church on 93rd, the where they sell the barbecue ribs at Shank? On 93rd and 22nd?
Mm-hmm.
That's where that's the street I was born on. Right on that street where the church is at.
Yeah, my friend Joe, we used to go. I've been there a couple of times. I don't remember too much. I was drunk as hell, but yeah, I remember getting some good food then.
You already know. Yes,
that was good ass food. I tell you, man, ain't nothing like soul food. You know what I'm saying, from your homeboy's house.
You already
especially
know.
When they fix you a plate.
You already know. With a little fried conch on the side and a little of that fruity conch that Nate just had. Them the appetizers.
Yeah. Mac and cheese is my thing though, especially when they come out the oven.
Yeah.
And then some with some
collard greens. I hope you ain't doing like Lewis and EM and getting that box macaroni and cheese. I hope you getting some you ain't getting that box Kraft, huh? That's what you go get when you go to see Lewis and EM, that box Kraft. So yeah, stick still
with the Winn-Dixie hot dogs.
Beanie weenies. That's what you gonna get with some beanie weenies and some box Kraft.
With the dollar store bread.
You already know. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
So what you think of the schedule? I mean, listen, by the way, man, Crypto's in the building. Hey, listen, I'm gonna be rooming with Crypto. We're going to that Houston game. I know you're gonna go to that Houston game, right?
Oh, it's on and popping, man. It's on and popping. We gonna set it out. Trust me on that. Y'all come down, y'all gonna be good. No worries.
What do y'all expect? What do you expect at the tailgate?
Whatever y'all want.
What do you expect?
I mean, I will tell you that the tailgate experience with them Texans is turned up. I mean, I go to a lot of games, and the tailgate experience here with the Texans is turned up. Obviously, the heat is a factor, but don't we play them in late the season?
Yeah, October.
No, that ain't late enough. It's gonna be hot here. I mean, at least for the tailgate, it'll be hot. Obviously, in the stadium, they'll probably have it closed, and so we'll be fine going in the stadium. But either way, it's gonna be turned up. These Latinos up here, they're huge following with the Texans, and the tailgate is amazing, man, with the Texans. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
So when we go to Houston, right? Like the first night I'm there in Houston, what's a good spot you recommend for people to go to eat at?
You can go to Kiss. You can go to. It depends on what kind of vibe. I'm gonna set it out, bro. Y'all gonna be good. But 50-15, Kiss, James Harden spot 13. All of those are really, really good spots, man. But anywhere downtown, it's gonna be good.
That's what's up. And Crypto says he got the apple cider vinegar for Nene. Apparently he puts that. What do you think of apple cider vinegar in your collard greens?
I heard that. I have no idea what Crypto is doing. I don't really know what that's about. But that's where is Crypto in DC? I guess that's an up north kind of thing.
Yeah, he's originally from Chicago, so
they don't know nothing about no greens in Chicago. Okay, he get a pass. They don't know nothing about that. You got to have somebody from Georgia or Alabama to be able to do greens effectively.
What when you seen the schedule release, what'd you think about what was your initial reaction about the schedule release? and the
Well,
Thanksgiving game.
well, obviously those games, I personally like when we play on prime time, but I always think about the fact that from year to year, there's the staple teams. Kansas City is going to be there. We know these, but then there's going to be teams that you think are good that are not going to be good. Case in point, San Diego last year. We thought that was a precursor to, maybe a playoff team down the road. And so I don't take too much stock into it, knowing that some team that you think is going to be good, or team or two that you think is going to be good, that's not going to be good. And there's going to be a team or two, the Texans, for instance, that you thought weren't going to be good. And then all of a sudden they make a playoff run.
Yeah, Crypto was, by the way, one of the first ones to actually call it that they were going to win the division and make the playoffs last year. So I give a shout out to Crypto for that. That was his one thing that he did call right. So
he just flipped the coin. He didn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. What's up, Costa Nostra? And let's talk about the elephant in the room, about Tua Tagovailoa. What you think of the contract situation? What are you hoping that happens? We hoping that he gets a deal, or hoping he plays on his 5th-year option?
Well, again, just from a theoretical position, I just see this as business. I think that the Dolphins, based on Tua's history, has to be prudent and have a number and a number of years in mind that they're willing to invest, given his history. And I don't see that as a bad thing. If I were the GM, I would be trying to set some of those same parameters in place. And I also think that Tua is right to go out and try to get as much as he can to change the trajectory of his family and to leave a legacy for his children and his children's children. So I just think that this is how business gets done. Ultimately, I don't see a path where the Dolphins allow him to play on a 5th-year deal. I just think that we have been looking for a quarterback for far too long to take a chance now that you've had one. And I don't think that you can take a chance of letting him play on this deal, given a couple of factors. One, you continue to see him get better. And then two, every time you've in recent history taken a chance on a player betting on himself, they've lost. And so in my mind, it behooves them to get a deal done while doing their best to have some wiggle room with the salary cap.
Yeah, because I hear that we have some room now, but if we was to get him a deal, I think we could make even more room for next year.
And so again, I get it. You have to really be able to think about the future, and all of these things have something to do with the future. Tua's contract is gonna play a huge part in what we're able to do moving forward. So how you structure that and what you do with it is, very, very important. And, I doubt very serious that Tua is involved in these conversations, because agents know that players can be sympathetic to the team's plight. So that's why the agents say, y'all can't talk to my player. Y'all talk to me, and he's going to do his best to fight for Tua. And you heard Tua say, hey, I'm not really getting involved in that conversation. Y'all just tell me when it's done.
Yeah, he want let me know when it's close to getting what I want. He's not really budging. So yeah, I understand, because look, at the end of the day, Chris Greer does this for a living. So he could be if he tries to talk to him one-on-one, he could try to manipulate him, like you said. Versus the agent, I heard everything before, So you're not gonna try to fool me as pull the walls over my eyes as easy as you could the player.
Right, exactly. And that's typically what happens, is there's some things about it when players get involved, you know, they start thinking about other players, which is again a part of it, and it's a natural. And I think that Tua wants to see the team be able to do some things moving forward. So I think he's willing to do that. His agent, though, he don't care nothing about that. He care about this client trying to get him the best that he can.
That's what's up, man. And all right, now we're about to get into the end of the show where we're doing the Mount Rushmores, right? I'm gonna give you 3 Mount Rushmores to do. I talked to you about 2 of them, but this one I'm gonna throw you out of left field. So, who is your Mount Rushmore of HBCU players in the NFL?
Jerry Rice, Jerry Rice, Aeneas Williams, Larry Little, and I'll go with my teammate Eddie Robertson.
Okay. All right. Your Mount Rushmore of wide receivers in the NFL. Again, mind you, I'm gonna compare yours to colors. So,
wide receivers,
yeah.
Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, Chris Carter, man,
and Braxton Berrios. No,
then, man, that last spot, I'm thinking about 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 guys now, because I saw him up close and personal and saw what he did, and got a chance to work with him. I'll say Torrey Holt from The Greatest Show on Turf. I mean, he was an amazing athlete too. I really liked the way he played football.
Yeah.
Phin-Addict, I went to Alabama State. I played as a noob at Alabama State.
Hey, not only did he that, he won the HBCU championship
already.
Yeah. You got the ring on you?
So I can grab it. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Please, everybody. Make sure you hit the like button. Like, share.
This is my national. Where can I show it? This is my national championship ring, and this one is my Hall of Fame ring.
Okay.
Yeah. EM, try to get you one of them, Doc. Yeah.
Yeah. I could get one off of eBay.
Right. I will tell you that I'm just very good for Phin-Addict. What school? I will tell you that I'm just very, very fortunate, man. I come from, Dade County, man, and God has just, absolutely blessed me to be, do some tremendous things. And ultimately these things are not about me as much as they are about the relationships that I've been able to develop. We talked about my head coach. We talked about Eddie Robertson, but there's also my brothers who really, really pushed and challenged me. There's the Miss Grice who I'm not sure if she was still there when Nene came, but she was a teacher who challenged me and told me, I'm not going to let football destroy your life. You're going to get an education. You have enough ability to do things academically. And so she really, really challenged me and pushed me. I was a coach at Delaware State for 3 years. So these things really about the relationships that you build and the people that, pour into your life and challenge you to be the very, very best that you can be. And, ultimately that's what life is about, is the relationships. And certainly I value the relationship that I've made with you, and you being just a really, really good guy. And you guys got to make sure you push that like button and subscribe button and send my man a cash app or something, man. Stop being stingy, Ian. Lewis, hook that man up.
By the way, shout out to Sis 007. Sis 007. See this man right here?
Yes.
He is the man that's responsible for Phin-Sanity being the wonderful person that she is today. You know what I'm saying? That's her dad.
Very good. I like Randy Moss too. I mean, obviously, like I said, there are just so many. The receiver position is one of those positions where there's so many guys. It just kind of depends on what you like. Hey, Nene, I talk to her all the time, and I had the biggest crush in the world on her, but she really, really pushed me and challenged me. You know, these teachers now, they getting busy. I'm trying to figure out where they was when I was coming up, but these ones,
I know, man.
yeah.
Yeah, man. You got these teachers looking like Beyonce. Back when I was growing up, they was looking like freaking Bernie Mac and shit, man.
Miss Grice fit in that. Miss Grice fit in that Beyonce category. She was the real deal. Yes.
Oh, no doubt. Thank you. No problem. Hey, man. This, like I said, man, you did a hell of a job raising a young woman. Hell of a job. But
Yes,
so, all right, who's the fourth member of the Mount Rushmore wide receiver? We have T.O., Jerry Rice. Who was the other one?
who did I say? T.O., Jerry Rice, Chris Carter, and Randy Moss is who I'll go with.
Okay, that's what's up.
And I said Torrey Holt. I said Torrey Holt.
Torrey Holt.
But people started putting those names across the screen, and there's no way you can leave Randy Moss off that list. There's just ain't no way you could do that.
All right, so Randy Moss then. All right, that's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell yeah. I don't blame you, man. Randy Moss was the GOAT. Oh, give me 1 second.
I also say that, you know, I got a chance to play with Ernest Givens and Haywood Jeffries, Webster Slaughter, and that receiver position is really, really good, man. The receivers in the NFL, man, that's a tough position to really gauge when you talk, because I'll tell you that if you get a chance, go back for you younger guys, go back and watch some film on Ernest Givens, man. That dude was tough as nails and just one hell of a football player.
So in my house, you know, all I got is Dolphins swagger. You know what I'm saying? There's only one jersey that I have that's non-Dolphins, and whenever I used to go to the strip club, the Mint, wherever you take one, it doesn't matter where I went, right? I would always wear my lucky jersey.
Oh yeah,
Randy Moss.
That's your lucky jersey, or that's your get lucky jersey?
Both. I have a lot of good stories with that jersey on.
Very good. Very, very good.
So, all right, finally, we wrap this up with your Miami Dolphins Mount Rushmore.
Oh, man. That's a
What's good, Tony?
Miami Dolphins.
Tony's going to, hey, listen, Tony and Lewis are going to be at Houston doing a toy drive. So y'all be sure to check out the toy drive with Tony and Lewis. But go ahead.
Hey, y'all so petty, man. Y'all so petty. So I'm gonna do two things, right? I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna do my Miami Dolphins, and then I'm gonna do my Miami Dolphins Twitter Mount Rushmore. How about that?
Okay, sure. Hell yeah, we can do that.
All right. So my Miami Dolphins Mount Rushmore, Don Shula has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Marino has to be there. Man, that's when it started getting tough. I'm gonna put a defensive player there, and so, oh man, that's tough. Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor, Jason Taylor, I'm gonna go Jason Taylor just because he scored about 7 touchdowns in his career from a defensive lineman perspective, and then
And first ballot Hall of Famer.
and first ballot Hall of Famer, and I really think even though neither one of them are in the Hall of Fame, one of those Mark brothers should be on there. So I'll go with Clayton, Mark Clayton, on my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
that's what's up, man. I like Nene's. By the way, no shot at anybody else's Mount Rushmore. One of my favorite Mount Rushmores was Nene. She did Don Shula, Joe Robbie,
very good.
Dan Marino, and Zach Thomas. And by the way,
Very good. Joe Robbie was a good one.
Shout out, Dolph Freaky. She's one of the big hitters in the Dolphins community as far as going to games. I go to her watch parties in Fort Myers, right? And I was outside because it was a Buffalo game. I got there late, so I had to sit outside to watch the game because there was no tables available. So as I was watching the game, I saw this man pulling up, and he actually took a picture with me. He looked like he was in a rush, but he's like, I said, "Can I take my picture with you?" He's like, I gotta go, but he's like, you know what? He stopped for a second. He go, you know what? Let's take the picture. Come on. He wanted to get inside, man. I'm trying to get inside, but then he's like, you know what? He stopped. He thought about it. He's like, you know what, man? It's because you guys. I'm in the Hall of Fame. He ain't say that, but I could read his mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's take the picture, man. And bro.
Oh, very good. That's what's up.
Yeah. That hat behind me right there, he signed that. So that's going to stay there from now on. I had a Finn's tailgate hat, and that shit is going to stay there, retired. But yeah, Zach Thomas, man, I think that was an awesome story, man. That he like I said, he took pictures of everybody who asked for a picture. He signed autographs for anybody who asked for it. I mean, the dude was humble and is like, you know what, wasn't like, hey, get away from me. I'm trying to watch a game, I mean, that's what it's about, I think. But right. So before we go, man, and once again, man, I appreciate you for coming on here, and I appreciate your friendship.
You ain't let me get my Dolphin Twitter.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, sorry.
Twitter. So I'm gonna have to go with my main man Mo Sauces as part of. He was the first person. The first time I came on Twitter, a Twitter space, I was just checking it out, and Mo introduced himself to me, so he got to be on my Mount Rushmore. And then my homie Tony, day one, solid guy, definitely he's on there. And then Shake Money, you just endeared yourself to me from day one, and you've had me on your show, so I'm gonna definitely go with you. And then the last one is I'm gonna go with the twins. In one spot, but two people, as my Twitter route Mushmore is OG and the real OG get the last spot.
That's what's up. Hell yeah.
The twins.
The twins?
Uh-huh.
That's what's up, man.
All right.
Hey, by the way, 3 out of those 4 people been in the blender. I had Mo Sauces in the blender last week. I had Tony a couple of weeks ago, and I had Lewis week 2 in the blender. Nene was my first guest this season 2, man.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
very, very
Tony
good.
was on there, man. He was good, man. Hey, but HB, real quick, shout out to my the homie Sis 007. Great show, new subscriber. Hey, appreciate you, man. Hey, like I said, man, if you ever want to get on in the blender, I would love to hear your stories, man. This guy knows. He's from New Jersey, but he knows Miami Dolphins football like the back of his hand. As a matter of fact, Phin-Sanity, he's the reason why Phin-Sanity is a Dolphins fan.
That's what's up.
So,
very good.
And listen, he's raising them right, man.
And them girls love daddy.
Oh, yeah. And as a matter of fact, that's what happened with That's what happened with Allie Dolfreaky. She's from Philadelphia, and she said one of the ways she to spend time with her dad, she wants to spend time with her dad, so they watch Dolphin games together.
That's what's up, man. That is
Are your kids Dolphin fans?
Oh yeah, they ain't got no choice. They ain't got no choice. It's either get down with it. But you remember, well, that was the last game. A couple of them came to the game with me. Now obviously one of them, she dates one of the players with the Carolina Panthers, so she trying to slide over. But I told her, whatever you got to do to get the bag, go ahead and
you understand, right?
Hey, it is what it is. But yeah, the girls love the Dolphins and the Heat. They although none of them were born in Miami, they Miami to the core.
But man, that's the Finn. There go another Texan dude right here. And I'm doing a deep dive into the AFL, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do that on the Finn's tailgate. And you know what I find ironic is the fact that the Houston Oilers went to Tennessee, not only which was one of the original AFL teams was the Houston Oilers, but they changed into another. They became another original AFL team, which was the New York Titans.
Right.
Was another. And what's funny about that story is that the reason they're called the Titans was because they wanted to be bigger than the Giants.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
And so
they got a storied history, and the city of Houston is really just rebounding from when the Oilers left. I mean, it was devastating to the city.
That's how many. My son's a Jets fan.
Oh my God. How does that happen?
What's going on? Vamos Gatos, 89. That's my man right there. So any final thoughts before we wrap this up, man? And again, let me thank a few people real quick. Esther Finn, Vamos Gatos, C006, especially thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Raphael Courtwright, my man Crypto, Tony, Nene, Color, Bon Joe, Lewis, EM. Man, a lot of people came and showed up to this episode, man. You're a really loved figure in this community, man. And it shows that you would take, some time out of your busy day, man, to come chop it up with me. And I'm going to be forever grateful, man. And I can't wait to see you in Houston.
Hey, well, I just appreciate you giving me an opportunity to talk Dolphins football, man. I love this team. I've been invested in them since 1976 or so. And, we've been very, very fortunate to see this team at this point. And I'm just looking forward to the season. And again, shout out to everyone that came to watch the episode. It's a very humbling when you say that because, I'm just a guy who likes football and somebody who really just works hard. And shout out to all my homies out there, Lou, EM, Tony, Mo, Nene, my homie. Again, I don't want to get into calling names because when you call names, you inevitably miss somebody.
Yeah,
Crypto, just everybody. Again, thanks for coming through, and make sure that you tell a friend to check my man Shake Money out because he's doing a hell of a job, and this is God's work, man. He's doing a great job.
And like I said, man, and I've taken your advice, like I said, from the last episode, man. The only thing I'm not trying to compete with TD Fins Talk or DDW. I'm only competing with myself and improving. How can I improve my brand? How can I improve my show? And I'm humbled that, listen, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for all these wonderful guests like Mo Sauces, who was on last week, Tony, Nene, I got Gorilla Luke, the guy who's in the gorilla costume. He's slated to come on soon. I got Crypto coming back, Miss Pam, all these wonderful people. Raphael Courtwright coming on. I want to have a program, and I want to be here talking to you guys, man. You guys are pretty much the reason I'm doing this, and I'm having a fun time. This is kind of like therapy for me. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I think this was something that inevitably, like you said, God chose this for me, because no matter how hard I try, I couldn't get away from this, and I appreciate the opportunity for sure.
That's what's up, my guy.
Hey, if you can stick around backstage for a little bit when we close this up. All right, so everybody, thanks for coming on. Make sure you hit the like button. Fins up, and we out this bad boy. Peace.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night.
Real quick, I'm sorry, I forgot to shout this dude out. MCJB, what's going on, brother? My bad. So. He was in the last season 1 of episode in the blender, and he's a good dude too, man. So shout out to you, MCJB. Much love.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.